Sounds exciting. We are actually excited about this. It's Dr. Dolittle starring Robert Downey Jr. It hits theaters this Friday. And to get into the spirit of the big release, we have our very own modern-day Dr. Dolittle, animal intuitive, on the show.
Please welcome Meg McKell. You lucky duck, you got to see this already. Was it amazing?
It was good. It was really good. They did a great job scripting, and there's a lot of comedy, and there were points where I was very emotional but laughing at the same time. So yeah, it's a really sweet movie.
Oh, wonderful. It sounds great. What do you do? Explain what you do.
So I'm an intuitive animal communicator. So I effectively talk to animals. So I work with animals here as well as on the other side. So you kind of have to be open-hearted and open-minded to the notion of what I do. For me to work with you, and I don't vet, as much as people want to vet me, I'm vetting them. So I want to make sure that everyone's open and conducive to doing that work. So I work with all species, finned, feathered, four-legged. I've worked with lions. I've worked with your domestic dogs and cats, as well as some really interesting critters like hermit crabs, which have a very unique and it's funny that we're talking about this. Like, I sometimes pinch myself. Like, how did this world come to me, right?
No pun intended. Grab a pinch. Sorry.
How did you end up doing this?
So I kind of got thumped over the head with it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of intuitive people. We're all intuitive. We can all communicate with our animals. But I kind of got thumped over the head where I got told, like, you're actually really good at this and you should pursue it. I was actually working in marketing communications, and I found myself more and more working with pet brands. So I considered myself an animal communicator. And then I actually went to a psychic medium and I said, like, I'm a little disappointed in my career and I'd like some advice. And she said, well, it's time to start your animal communications. And I said, no, I already do that because I work with pet brands, and I'm an animal communicator, marketing communications. She's like, no. Like, you're intuitive, you have a gift, an ability, and you have to start sharing it with people. So she said, why don't you do this while you're miserable in your career? Why don't you just do this as a hobby on the side? And, like, it's perfect. So I
do you hear the animals, present or deceased, speak? Like, how does this whole communication thing, ebb and flow, happen?
That's a really good question. So sometimes I will see images, so that's clairvoyant, so seeing. Sentient, sometimes I feel. So if they're feeling anxious, sometimes I'll get that manifestation of that feeling in my body. So sweaty palms, fast heart rate, things like that. And then sometimes I do hear like a little voice. So it depends on the animal. It depends on, this journey for me. Like, over time, things have manifested in different ways, so I just kind of go with it however the animal wants to present it.
Okay.
And if I ask a question, they don't always answer the way I hope they would, and so it's really interesting. I just try to stay as open and fluid as possible.
Let's put it to practice.
Give it a try. Absolutely.
Yeah, we put the call out to our viewers. Roy was quick to respond with his beautiful dog Marley. She's 8 years old, and he's here with his daughter Sinead. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you guys? I'm going to jump around to Sinead's side. Let's come over this way a little bit.
Okay,
Because I've got a microphone for you, Sinead. So, are you intrigued about what's about to happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what do we have to do here? You take it away.
Yeah, you take it away.
So if you guys have any questions, anything you're curious about Marley, maybe it's something that Marley's been doing lately, or something that we've wondered, why did Marley do that? So I did see a really cute photo, actually. So maybe we talk about that a little bit.
Well, I was just sitting down, pet her, and she always just sits on people, so she sat on my lap.
So there's this actually notion of Marley being smaller than she actually is. So she actually does feel like a smaller dog. But there's no coincidence there, because Marley's actually 9, and if you look at Marley for her size, she's a very sprightly animal. And so there's a sense that we do talk about animal reincarnation. Sometimes animals come back, and dogs can come back as dogs, and dogs can come back as other animals, but Marley has been canine before, and Marley's actually been a smaller dog. So we're putting Marley in. Your producer Janina is actually very tapped in. She said something off the cuff, and I said, Janina, you're bang on, because Marley, who's 9, actually feels like 5, and Marley confirms that she feels much younger than she is.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
So Marley picks the most strangest places to lie down, like right in the middle of the kitchen when you're trying to cook or things like that.
Yeah.
Is there a method to her madness?
She doesn't want to be left behind. Okay. There's a sense of the kitchen is the family spot. It's where everyone's coming and going. It's probably one of the most utilized rooms in the house, so to speak, where everyone is kind of convening. It's a very big family spot, and she's there. Obviously, there's this notion of food and things being dropped, and like I'll be the first there. Okay, so there's a lot of gratitude to you for dropping food. I don't know if sometimes she thinks it's intentional or not, but there's a lot of love and gratitude for whatever gets misplaced. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
I'd love to know how her health is overall. Like, what she's feeling.
So when I work with an animal, I usually do what's called a body scan. So I'll go from head to tail in the case of Marley. And what I do feel is that there is this sense of, and I won't touch her, there's a sense of the front legs. There is like an energy running down into them. So I work primarily with energy. I don't usually have the animal in front of me. So in this case, I'm getting, honestly, like a shooting energy down the front legs. She's carrying a little bit more weight in the front than the back, which is actually unusual. So when you go to a vet, they're usually saying, well, we want to be conscious of the back legs. The strength there isn't as optimal. But the front legs is where I would actually suggest you monitor a little bit more closely. Because she's getting a lot of attention to the back end, the back hips being off. But we actually also want to say, like, there's some pain in the front legs as well. Okay?
Okay.
Look how sweet. It's like she knows we're talking about her.
Yeah.
Better be on my best behavior.
What's that, Marley? Oh, she wants to know, are crabs really crabby? Hey, you like that, right?
And they
I'll
pinch.
stop making my bad jokes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Meg, where can they find you? Where can they find information?
ModernDayDoolittle.com. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank
From
you.
Marley to Mel in the newsroom. Thank you.
Hello, sweetie.
She's so cute.